Hi, I'm Daniel Suarez. I'm the executive producer at Activision working on Transformers the game. Transformers the movie, being directed by Michael Bay, executive produced by Steven Spielberg. It was being brought to the movies on July 4th by Paramount. The movie is about three human factions, really. A character by the name of Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, is a 16-year-old kid who basically gets his first car, and ironically enough, it's a transforming automobile. There's a sort of second storyline, which is about this U.S. military force based in Qatar that gets invaded by this unknown, very powerful, sophisticated technical force, which you discover later is the Decepticons. And they're looking for something, and you're not sure exactly what it is. And then the third story is about the sort of secret government agency called Sector 7. And they are aware that there is some alien life force on Earth, and there has been now for some time, but there's now been this sort of alert that's gone out that has brought more of them to planet Earth. And what happens is these three stories converge, and basically what reveals the Autobots and Decepticons on Earth. And they're after this item called the Allspark, which is basically their life-giving force that originally was on Cybertron, but over a civil war that existed there between the Autobots and Decepticons has come to Earth. So they've both followed it here. And basically now Earth is their playground, or their battlefield is a better terminology. The game, we've kind of taken that storyline and said, okay, you know, the story revolves around humans in the movie, but we really sort of took the storyline for the game and focused it through the eyes of the Transformers. So the game begins with Optimus Prime narrating sort of the events of what's occurred, and then when you land on Earth, it's all about finding the Allspark, finding what's the connection to the Allspark. Eventually you find Sam Witwicky. He becomes sort of the person you need to protect as you play Bumblebee. And then on the Autobot side, really following that storyline that's on the film, but kind of following it in a way that we kind of elaborate on things that would have occurred. So there's things we do in the game that you won't see in the movie, but you'll say, okay, well, how did Bumblebee come to Earth? Well, we show that. How does Bumblebee become a Chimera? Well, we show that. On the Decepticon side, we kind of take the story and turn it upside down. You know, in the movie, the good guys will win. I'm not going to make any spoilers there. But what happens if the bad guys would have won? We were able to kind of elaborate on the story and really let the bad guys have their day in the sun. And that was one of the cool things that we think makes this game stand out. It's not just see the movie, play the game. It's see the movie, play the game, and what happens if the movie ended up a little differently. Activision originally started this project with Hasbro as our main partner. Hasbro oversees and manages the Transformers franchise, and they were really sort of our escort into the people at DreamWorks, the people at Paramount, and also with Michael Bay. We were really fortunate that when we got in there, it was still very early in the process. They hadn't started principal photography. They were still designing the look and feel of the characters, and we were able to kind of leverage the fact that they were still in their sort of building block phase. And they let us in, and we were able to sort of establish this trust factor with them, where Michael Bay and his producers, Ian Bryce and Mark Verratti, and really kind of said, you know what, we need to help these guys creating the game, because if we don't, they're kind of going to be out in left field and really not in step with us. So that allowed us then to work closely with ILM. We were able to get the models that they were creating for the film as they were making them. So, you know, we got a CG version of Optimus Prime that was so highly detailed that, you know, our CG guys were sitting there drooling, going, "This is going to be so cool." But we were able to take that and integrate that onto our next-gen versions for the 360 and for the PS3. Transformers the game, we were really fortunate to really tap into a variety of different voice actors. Of course, from the movie side, we got Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. Peter Cullen voices Optimus Prime, who's been doing that from the original sort of TV series and is now doing it for the movie and for the game, and he was fantastic to work with. We also got Mark Ryan, Keith David, David Soboleff, all sort of like the key characters are playing robot voices, and brought them into the games from the movie. And then one unique character that we brought in was Frank Welker. Frank Welker voiced the original Megatron, but he's not doing it for the movie. He believes he's doing it for the movie, but it was one of those things that the fan base really thought was important for us to have, be a part of the game. And we basically said, you know what, this is what's going to make it really true for those Gen 1 fans.
Pathetic. Imagine you thinking you could defeat me.
Transformers the game is coming out at the end of June, right before the movie. It's going to be on PS3, 360, Nintendo Wii, PS2, PC. We have 2 Nintendo DS SKUs, Nintendo Autobots, or Transformers Autobots, Transformers Decepticons, and then lastly the Sony PSP.